Hello, everyone. So, just a quick, interesting fact is that not eating food or fasting or not being in the process of digesting food in your intestines increases your intuition. And this is something that I discovered on my own. I used to, as a teenager, go through phases where I would just kind of not really do anything for the first half of the day and just like lay in bed and not eat. And I noticed that when I didn't eat, I would feel more just in tune with things. And basically, in other words, more intuitive. And later on, I heard other people say similar things, such as how they would intentionally not eat a meal until after they did a astrology reading, for example. Um, and so since then, I've also heard other people talking about how intermittent fasting can also increase your intuition. And so some people in certain programs where they're trying to develop their intuitive abilities will do intermittent fasting and calorie restriction, which is good for other things besides intuition, but also just overall health. And there is also a connection between well, I was going to say mind and body, but I would also say spirit. Um, a lot of the blockages to spirit are actually blockages in the body, blocking you from being able to access the spirit. And it's not so much that the spirit is necessarily weak, it's more that your energy in your body is blocking the access to the spirit. And when your body is digesting food, that's what it's spending its energy on, and you can only do so much at once. So when you're not digesting food, your body is able to do other things, such as cleanse itself of parasites and toxins, and also the energy body will start clearing energy as well, because the energy body and the physical body are connected. This also can happen with aerobic exercise after you've been exercising for about 20 minutes or so, doing aerobic exercise in particular. Then you just start to naturally clear energy. Some signs of clearing energy that can happen just simply through meditation. A lot of the times, if I go into a meditation, I will just start yawning like crazy, and this is a way of clearing energy through yawning. Also, the lungs, just breathing in and out, is a way that the body clears a lot of toxins out of the lungs. Believe it or not, the lungs actually break down a lot of toxins, and you breathe it out. Most people, I didn't realize that until recently, but I had known that yawning was a way of clearing energy, not just physical, but also more etherical energy. Another way is through sweating, and so this is what you'll notice a lot of the time from doing aerobic exercise as well. So you'll sweat, and that's another way that the body is clearing out energy, not just physically, but also energetically. So when I meditate, I will experience a lot of sweat. Like when I do a lot of readings for people, um, I'm just constantly sweaty and I have to take showers like all the time because it just gets ridiculous. The other thing is sometimes when you're in a deep meditation, your eyes will just start watering, and it's almost like you're crying, but you're not crying because you're sad. It's more like just a release, a way that the body is clearing energy. And so sometimes you'll see people meditating and afterwards they have to like wipe their eyes, and that's because that's just something that happens when you clear energy at a certain level. So I'll experience that. I'll go through phases where I will experience that, and then I won't experience it for like a couple weeks, and then I'll go back into a phase where every time I meditate, I experience it. Just comes in waves, as many things do. But anyways, once you start working on the physical body, eventually you start getting through to energy work. And you can do this through meditation, but another way of getting there is through, I guess you could say, through the physical body, rather than going straight into the spiritual mode and tackling it from there. You can kind of tackle it by working your way up from the body to the spirit, because everything is connected. And so fasting comes into play here as a great way to cleanse not only physical parasites within the body, but also spiritual parasites. And so I want to start at the beginning with more of the physical parasites. There can be physical parasites that live in the intestines and things of that nature that people may be more aware of. There are also just germs and toxins, just built up junk that may not be helpful for you anymore, just like in your interstitial fluid, which is basically just the fluid that builds up in between like muscle tissue and just all throughout your body. And some of the times that can be related to arthritis and just joint pain in general. And so by clearing that out, it really is good for your health and your skin and just your overall energy and longevity as well. So fasting is one of the few things that have actually been proven to extend your lifespan beyond just preventing diseases that can kill you. It actually prolongs your natural lifespan in addition to that. So I've been fasting and dry fasting from time to time, and so I just got re-inspired again to do a dry fast. So to be honest, I can't remember the longest that I've done a fast for, but like it's nothing like too crazy, but like maybe like a week. I know I went 7 days last time I fasted, and 4 of those days, the first 2 days I was drinking water, but the last 4 days of that I didn't have any water. So that was the longest I've ever done a dry fast. And so dry fasts are very controversial, and some people say that you should not do them because they're bad for you and you need water. I'm not going to get too far into that. I did do a reading on breatharians, so if you are interested in that, you can check out my breatharian video where I talk about, people who claim to eat very little to no food and water. So I'm not going to get into that right now. That's kind of a whole different subject here. But I do want to say that dry fasting, and I have read this before, it reaches something more on a spiritual level that fasting with water doesn't. I'm not saying that fasting with water isn't worthwhile, because it is worthwhile and it's great, but there's something about dry fasting that really reaches more of a spiritual level. And one of the things that's interesting about it is that when you dry fast, you're really reaching all of the parasites that may be living off of your body, in a way where you're not just starving them, but they're not getting any access to water as well. So it's kind of like you're pushing your body to a certain level to where you can survive, but anything that is anything less than you can't, because you're pushing yourself to the level where you can barely, exist much longer. And so obviously anything feeding off of you is not going to be able to sustain itself anymore. And that's kind of the idea behind it. So I just started a fast last night. My last meal was at like 5 or 6 p.m. or something like that, and I didn't eat past that. And I was going to try going straight into a dry fast, which I don't normally do, but I woke up this morning feeling a little dry, and that's not a good way to start a dry fast, feeling dry already. And so, above all, I listen to my body. So, even if I'm trying to push myself to do something, I listen to my body. And so, I drank some water this morning. But from here on out, I'm going to be using a humidifier to keep the air more humid so that I don't get dried out as much, and I will be using filtered water so that there's not chlorine and other chemicals evaporating into the air. Although I do live in a city, so it's not the best air, but you can only do what you can do. So, anyways, my plan is to try and do a dry fast for more than 4 days, hopefully 5 days. I'll see how it goes. If you would like to do this process with me, you can also start fasting, whether that be a water fast or a dry fast, and go along through the process and let me know how it goes for you. So once you start getting into day 2, you really start going into more of a ketogenic phase where you start converting to burning off of fat, because you basically just run out of sugar, and so your body starts to burn fat instead of sugar to survive. And then eventually, after that, the 3rd day or so, you start to really become more aware of the subtle energies. And for me, it's like, I remember it was almost like psychedelic, because colors would seem more bright to me and everything was more intense, and it's like you feel more sensitive. And being more sensitive is being more psychic, because you're sensitive to things that other people may not notice, and so you're more in tune with what's going on. You're able to see kind of what's behind the veil, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. So it is just you becoming more in tune. That's what that is. It can feel a little bit too much, and this is because a lot of these parasites that live in your gut or wherever they live in your body, you've probably heard about the not probiotics, but the basically germs that live in your gut that affect your brain, and so they can be addicted to sugar and cause you to be addicted to sugar, but it's not really you that's addicted to sugar, it's them. And it's confusing because they can control your hormones and your thoughts, basically. So this is just a scientific fact of how the gut, the probiotics and whatnot work in the gut, so you can look that up if you don't know about that. But on a more spiritual level, that is also happening energetically. And this month of May, in my prediction videos for the last 2 months, actually, I've been noticing a lot more of this like dark energy and this cathartic type of theme of clearing out a lot of this old stagnant energy from way back. And I've also been noticing this within my own surroundings, that there just seems to be a lot more, it's almost like a haunted feeling, where it just seems like there's almost like portals that have opened up and allowed more things to be around that are not necessarily good. But I don't get the sense that this is like something that is entirely new. It feels more like this is something that has been around for a while, and in some sense you could call it like Pandora's box. And the way that it feels to me is as if, yes, we're opening Pandora's box and you can't really close it back up, and who knows what's going to come out. But at the same time, it was heavy regardless in this box. Even if it was contained within it, it still had this weight to it that was weighing us down. And so by opening it up, we're at least able to clear through it. This seems to be just a general thing happening on the planet overall. Also, within my private readings with clients, I've just been noticing this theme of lots of people coming to me who need things cleared out, like energy beings and things of that nature. It's a little loud out here. But anyways, that's just keeps coming up for this month. So I really think that this is a time, cathartic time of the year, to work on things of that nature. So it just gets louder and louder out here. So anyways, I'm gonna try and wrap this video up. But anyways, if you need help with that, you can always reach out to me. I can always help clear out some beings from your energy field, or you can just focus on it yourself. And I would also, I don't want to say that you should fast necessarily, but if it's something that you find interesting, I would recommend it. And I feel like maybe I should make some separate videos about that, because that's a whole lot to cover. But it's always good to start off with maybe just a 24-hour fast, just a one-day fast, and then work your way up. So if you'd like to go along with me, I'm going to see how long I can make it, and you can share your experience in the comments as well if you would like to. But that's all I have to say for now. I'm gonna end this video before it gets any more loud out here. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked the video and made it to the very end. If you would like a psychic reading from me, or an energy healing or energy clearing, you can always schedule an appointment with me at psychictai.com. That's psychictai.com. And I will also provide some links to my website and my Patreon below this video. So thank you for watching and have a great day.